Okay, so professionalism, how do you come across? Now, we've been really talking a lot now about, well, a lot, but I mean, proportion-wise, about communication. Because we're getting, in about 45 minutes lunch, and then we only have a little bit left, and then we're done. So, professionalism, how do you come across? Now, a lot of it is what we discussed, the communication. I put parent training in the communication portion, because of course that's a lot communicating too, and learning to give feedback. Professionalism is also part of communication, or communication is part of professionalism. Being positive in a negative situation is not naive, it's leadership. Now, leadership does not mean the title that you have, but just the leadership in, for example, the session, and then there's a person where you are. Now, there's a little story about this old lady, and she looked at it one day in the mirror. She only had 3 hairs left. So that morning she thought, you know what can I do with my hair? Oh, you know what, I have 3 hairs left, so let me do a little braid. So that's what she did that day. Next day she only had 2 hairs left. So she thought, what should I do? I can actually twirl it. So she twirled her hair. Next day she looked herself in the mirror, she only had 1 hair left. What can I do? She thought, I can make a ponytail. So that's what she did that day. So then the next day, she looked at herself in the mirror, and she was bald. And she thought, finally, I don't have to do anything with my hair anymore. And it's about the positive, professionalism is also that piece of being positive. Being positive, because I know this work can be so full of being, people being grateful for what you're doing. It can be also so rough. So that's why the positivity is also part of the professionalism. Now, this can also be part of professionalism. For example, are you representable? How's your hygiene? Your nails, not that you have to put nail polish on if you're a female or male, but those are your nails, just at least clean cut. Is your hair, is it a little bit, does it look neat? Your clothes, that not that you're having holes or stains in your clothes. Your shoes, are they just, brushed up a little bit? So that's being representative, that's professionalism. Conscious of your environment. When you come in, family's home, especially the first time, just introduce yourself, shake a hand, but also maybe next time, just make sure you greet, you have the eye contact. You're taking your shoes off, or at least asking the family, should I take my shoes off? No cell phone. Also, if you are not able to have your own iPad or computer, please let us know, because we really don't want to have cell phones being used in session. Protocol. Now, protocol is, and this is something that we're constantly working on, and at this moment we're working on protocol again, because sometimes situations arise that makes us think we need to change protocol or update protocol. Protocol is don't talk about other clients. That's something that I'm so firm about. Whenever you're in session, you can never talk about another client, and not even take a phone call or text message or anything. So, and sometimes I'm in session and somebody, I do interrupt and say, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I can't talk about another client in this session. Don't talk about the company, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. That's what we're here for. Come to me, to Jamie, to talk to our office manager. Coordinator is not a manager, so there's nothing, she's not a supervisor. She's somebody who does administrative tasks. So just remember, if there's a problem, you do not go to the coordinator. You go to office manager who manages the coordinator, come to me or to Jamie. And of course, for your direct case, for your supervisor, you go to your supervisor. So don't feel like, oh, I can't reach out, I did it too many times. No, that's okay. But just remember, the coordinator is not a manager who's problem solving, just executing. But if you have problems, go to supervisor or go to us. Don't ask personal questions from families, and don't answer personal questions. And that's something that I can't say that's a rule, but I definitely say it's part of professionalism. To not share, I'm going to a breakup, or I'm having some financial problems, and my car is really bugging me out. That don't share personal stuff. You don't want to show that something is going on, because parents feel that, and all they want is you to just help them. They don't want to hear about problems. Or maybe they sometimes do, but please don't, I've heard it so many times that people fall for the trap and then it comes back to you. It's just something you just don't want to do. Don't talk about colleagues or the supervisor, you know, like, oh, my supervisor this or that, complaints, or colleagues, or background of information. You know, just keep it very professional. If there's anything, try to really resolve it within the company. You know, if there's something that's really bothering you, you can't come to me, not to Jim, not to your supervisor, this HR. You know, you can go to HR and say what's going on. You know, there are people to help out. Don't promise what you can't keep, right? Just really make sure you do a promise, then please follow through. And don't talk about your schedule. It's a lot of don'ts, but really, we have determined the schedule, that's the coordinator. Just, you know, don't say, oh, I'm actually more tomorrow available. Schedule, that's all coordinator. Just make a really quick note. Parents have to put in a written notice 1 week ahead of time if they want to make any changes to the schedule. So not like, oh, tomorrow I can come a little bit earlier. We don't do that. You know, that's per January 1st. Those are 2 significant changes. Sessions need to be 2.5 hours minimum. And that's really because of various reasons. And any schedule changes can be done between DI and parents. That's just causing too many problems. But again, professionalism. When we show professionalism, that's when families trust us. And they have to trust us because we're going to be with their child. I already discussed this one, and then be clear in conversations, but also the rules you follow. Meaning, you know, be very clear. And if parents have difficulties with things, you can always say, well, that's protocol. You know, you can always talk to the supervisor, and that's protocol.
Does anyone have examples of how they've handled those types of questions, or do you need help? I know that could be really awkward.
Yeah, I think that's like, oh, how are you qualified to take care of a child, and they like answer a repeat question, but they didn't understand what they're asking. So I like gave them 2 different answers. When they're asking for like, oh, what certifications do you have? Because it was like a language barrier. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh, well, I really care about children, and that's why I qualify. And then they're like, no, I mean, what certifications do you have? After like 5 minutes of talking.
Yeah. And HR, that's what I say, just whenever parents are asked questioning about your background, just say, you know, it's company policy. You can ask HR, because it brings in so many uncomfortable, and parents, you know, we hire, I interview. Parents don't need to do that. So if they do, just let them know, you know, I really understand you have questions. It's just company policy to just, you can contact HR, and because, you know, that's also legally much better. So you know so much about all the legal parameters with all that, sharing and disclosing information, just refer to HR.
But there's times where, like, questions like, oh, so are you going to school? That I don't feel like is bad. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, you know, I'll answer, but it all depends, like, what, I don't know, how much, of it is.
Yeah, and I've been, of course, in those situations too, but again, certain strategies would help. For example, when they are really asking you, then ask a question back, which is more going towards the child's program, or that you observe something of the child, or say, okay, are you ready to get started? You know, just to divert it back from going to you towards a different situation.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you can say, well, I see that you're having various questions. If you want to know more, then you can always contact HR, because that's what the protocol says, that if you have other questions about background, you can contact them.
Yeah, there is a difference between rapport building and like investigative questions. So you can kind of feel that, I think, from the parents with their tone, but I mean, it's difficult to have that line when you're working in people's homes, because it is important to have those clinical boundaries.
Yeah.
We're not part of the family, we're clinicians, you know, coming in, so.
Yeah. We see that this happens, that you don't need to have the experience in order to be an amazing person in the field. And it's like sometimes parents are really getting stuck to that. Okay, you need to have this, you need to have the experience, and then you're good. It's not like that. You know, you're good because, I think, you can learn really fast, you want to learn really fast, you love what you do, you have passion for what you do, and you are great with kids. You know, those are definitely 5 factors that I see making a big difference in how people at the end, learn in the job. Anything else about professionalism?
I've had people ask, like, how long have you been working for the company, or, you know, like, how many years of experience do you have?
Yeah.
And what I've been told is to kind of, like, just tell them like, give them like a, not be very like, how do you say, specific and say like, oh, I started this month, but be more kind of like, oh, like I've been for this company, I've been working for this company for a few months already, but kind of like redirect back to like you being excited working with your kids, like just kind of like redirect them somewhere else. But I'm really excited to be here working with your child. I'm really looking forward to it. So just be very brief, not be so specific, and just even if it wasn't like a few months, like I've been trained on that just to say like a few months, but you know.
It's been a while now, but it's been so
Yeah.
much fun. It's gonna change the conversation.
A while now, that's right.
Yeah, a while, that's it.
Anything else about this?
I have something.
Yeah.
People, from my experience, have asked about me being married. And it's just kind of like, oh, I've said I'm old, or they ask about my age and my marriage, and I say, well, I'm old enough to be married and have kids.
Oh yeah.
And that's it. And, you know, change it to something else. But it has gotten, there's times where I've been pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With those questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good question. I mean, you're definitely allowed to say, well, I don't want to share personal information, or it's company's policy that we're not sharing personal information. That's personal. It has nothing to do with our child.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. For the rest of your life, professionalism is going to help you to succeed. You know, as a professional, the more you're professional, and that's also what for ABA Works is so important, because I always share, like, it's so easy. Like yesterday I was at a talk from Easter Seals, very big company, and they were sharing what is helping them with retention. Well, really it was a sales pitch. I was sitting there for 1.5 hours listening to a sales pitch, and they were saying that they're growing so fast. It's so easy to grow fast. We get so many referrals. I get so many clients for therapy and clients for referrals. But do we say yes? No. Why? Because my intention is I want to be the best company that's known for being the best, but not for the biggest. Because that's something that is pretty easy to become big, but it's the quality of care. And that's where professionalism comes in. That's following the ethics, following the law, and being a professional in the field. And that's why I always keep saying, you know, problems need to be resolved. That's what, you know, also helps being professional. It's how you present yourself, it's how you communicate, it's how you learn to grow. That's why I love doing training, you know, because the more you're growing, the more you grow as a professional, you're getting better, and of course we see that in the child.